I'm going to say I put a lot of time to get the notes exact because there is writing here, and it's you'll see every note. I think it will be helpful. Itmar, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Itmar, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Itmar, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi argue. Itmar, Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, they argue. The Machlekes Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Chad Omar. One says, Arava on top of in Beis Hamikdash. The Arava in the Beis Hamikdash. At this point, with the Gemara thinks we're talking about the Arava in the Beis Hamikdash. Chad Amar one says Arava in Beis Hamikdash. Yesoid Nevi'im. Yesoid Nevi'im means Nevi'im enacted it. Now enacted means they made it a law. Yesoid Nevi'im. And a small footnote, it's a Chiyuv D'Rabbanan. Yesoid Nevi'im means they enacted it. Footnote on the side, it's a Chiyuv D'Rabbanan. That's the level that it's on. It's a Chiyuv Midrabanan. That's what the word Yesoid Nevi'im. They establish it. The Nevi'im have the koyach. Sorry? Yeah, it's not the Raisa. Yesoid Nevi'im means the Nevi'im established it, and that means that it's a Chiyuv D'Rabbanan. The Chad Omar, and the other opinion says Minag Nevi'im. It's only a custom of the Nevi'im. I wrote on the side, not an obligation. Amazing. Amazing. Abaisai, that's a gewaltige question. The Rashi tells, he asks, who cares? What difference does it make? So I'll tell you. The Rashi says, he's asking.
What's the nafkamina?
He's just another way of Eli saying, what's the nafkamina? The nafkamina between.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Minag niyak mo chiyuv.
If one second, if you say that they made it, Yesoid Nevi'im means they made halacha. Says Rashi. Rashi says, Rabbi say, look at Rashi Minog. Look at Rashi Minog. And he goes they accustomed the nation to do it. But they didn't make it a takana halacha. V'nafkamina, what difference does it make? Deloi boy bracha. You don't need a bracha. If it's a Yesoid Nevi'im, if it's a halacha from the Nevi'im, if it's halacha midrabanan from the Nevi'im, you have to make a bracha. Asher kadishanu b'mitzvayisav v'tzivanu, they commanded us. Now v'tzivanu, Hashem commanded us. We were commanded. How were we commanded if the Nevi'im told us the halacha? Because it says in the Torah, Elav, don't deviate, Lo Sasser, don't deviate from anything that the Rabbanan told you. So if the Rabbanan make a mitzvah, you can make a bracha, Baruch atah Hashem, Lakeinu melech HaMashiach Kedishanu, Hashem commanded us, he was Makadosh B'tzivanu, he commanded us. How can we say the words B'tzivanu if it's only a mitzvah D'Rabbanan? Because in the Torah it says don't deviate. So if you do a D'Rabbanan, you are fulfilling what Hashem told you to do. However, if it's only a minhag, then the minhag Nevi'im, then you don't say a bracha. It's a nice thing to do, but you're not obligated. Period. Says the Gemara, Tistayim. Tistayim means let's conclude or let's prove. We could prove the Rabbi Yochanan, who the Omar, Rabbi Yochanan was the one that said Yesoid Nevi'im. Rabbi Yochanan was the one that said it's a Yesoid Nevi'im, which means which means they made the law, they made it like a D'Rabbanan. Why? To Amar Rabbi Vohu, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Vohu said the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Arava, Yesoid Nevi'im. Who? Arava is Yesoid Nevi'im. Clear. Right. It's not like make a dash. Tistayim. That's a good proof. Tistayim. It's not a proof. You're right. But he said one said this and one said that. He says I'll tell you clearly. It was Rabbi Yochanan who said it's Yesoid Nevi'im. Tistayim means that's conclusion. Tistayim. A good proof. Yeah, Tistayim means we conclude that it was Rabbi Yochanan. Watch this. You ready, Rabbi? Say Amalei Rab Zera. Amalei Rab Zera. Rabbi Zera told Rabbi Vo. Amalei Rabbi Zera. Because Rabbi Vo was the one who just said that Rabbi Yochanan said it's just a Yesod Nevi'im. So Amalei Rabbi Zera Rabbi Vo. Rabbi Zera told her, challenge Rabbi Vo. Umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. Did Rabbi Yochanan really say that? That it's only halacha from the Nevi'im? V'amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Reb Nechunya ish bekas beis Charson. That's the name of the place where it came from. We had this is the third time we had it in the week. Esen etiyos. Now underline, I'm sorry, V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, keep that in mind, we're saying Rabbi Yochanan mishum Reb Nechunya ish bekas beis Charson. What's Rabbi Yochanan say in their name? Esen etiyos, number one, Arava. That's what we want to underline now, because that's the focus. Arava. V'nisach hamayim, nisach hamayim, the pouring of the water. Halacha l'moshe b'Sinai. Is it halacha l'moshe b'Sinai? Means it's daraisa? Question mark.
It's arguing with what either. He said neither of those two.
Right, you're saying you're right. But it just now that he said Nibiam, we were challenging him. You're right. If he would have said the other thing, it would have also been a challenge. Right. Here's a question. So exactly, this shows us the Raisa. Halacha Moshe Sinai. Halacha Moshe Sinai means it's the Raisa. So how can Rabbi Vo come and say that Rabbi Yochanan was the one who said that it's the Rabbanon, that it's Yisai Nevi'im? It's Yisai Nevi'im. He says clearly it's the Raisa. So Halacha Moshe Sinai.
Meaning, the question is on the whole argument in the first place. It's not a Yisai or
You're right. But being that Rabbi Bo came along and said that Rabbi Yochanan held that it was Yisai Nevi'im, we're just directing the challenge towards him. But that's what Rav was saying. It's a good point. So Ishtoimim Kishochada. He was silent for some time. Who was that? Rabbi Bo was silent. It baffled him. He's like, Ishtoimim Kishochada. And look at this. V'omar, and then he responded. Then he said, now so Rabbi Vo was quiet, and then he responded. He thought of an answer. Look at this. You're going to have such hana.
How do you translate
Ishtoimim, he was silent. Yeah, he was thrown. He was silent. Ishtoimim kishochado.
He wondered because
he was
stone.
Ishtoimim kishochado. V'omar, then he responded. Then he said, Shochachom. They forgot the daraisa. Shochem, they forgot the daraisa. I mean, you're right. It really was a daraisa. Shochem, they forgot it. A small footnote, but an important one, just for the clarity here. In Golis, after the first Chorban, they forgot it in Golis, in Bavel, right? In Golis, Bavel, after the first Chorban. They went to Golis and they forgot it there. They forgot this halacha. They forgot that it was daraisa. Rashi says, Rashi says they forgot a lot of mitzvahs. No, he's saying that it was halacha l'moshe Sinai. So they forgot that it was halacha l'moshe Sinai. Just wait, in Galus, jump back to Gemara. V'chazru. Just wait. Oh, the word yes, the end. Just wait. Oh, watch this. V'chazru. Look at this. You're saying good. V'chazru. 1 second. Just wait. Exactly. V'chazru. Watch this. Hold on. V'chazru v'yastum, and the Nevi'im reestablished it. V'chazru v'yastum, the Nevi'im reestablished it. Ready for this? In the time of the second Beis Hamikdash.
And therefore it became a Darabanan?
No, you're right. It's just that Nevi'im had to come along and reestablish it.
They reminded us.
They remind us, exactly. That's how we can.
So it is Daraisa.
So it's Daraisa. Exactly. V'chazu v'yosem, they reestablished it. So Rashi is the Nevi'im Achroinim, like Avrami Ubalder. With your Nevi'im, it was Chagi, Zechariah, Malachi. Some hold the Malachi was Ezra. So Chagi, so you're right. It was the last of the Nevi'im.
You said?
Yes, and they reestablished it in Bayesheni. So 1 second, Rabbi Bo says that when the Klai Yisrael went into Golas Bavel, in Bavel they forgot some of the mitzvahs. Rashi says they forgot some of the Torah. So they forgot that this halacha. Now watch this. So boy, you gotta follow the next two lines. Watch what happens. You ready? So
Second.
Passed out. No one forgets mitzvahs.
So just wait. Hold on. Yuda techakeh.
You don't do it.
So Umi Omar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. You ready for this? Umi Omar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. So basically, you're telling me that when Rabbi Yochanan says it was Yesod Nevi'im, it was because they forgot it. So Umi Rabbi Yochanan Hachi, does Rabbi Yochanan agree that they forgot the Torah? That's what we want to know. Umi Rabbi Yochanan Hachi, does Rabbi Yochanan agree they forgot the Torah? Could that really be? Just wait till see.
So you told me the Rabbanan take a mitzvah from the rice and turn it into a Rabbanan?
No, they didn't return the Rabbanan. They just brought it back.
They brought it back. So you said
the right
Torah
side.
is
Of course. 1 second.
Side
You're right. That's good. Good question. Just hold on 1 second. I want to just keep the look at the Umi Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. Does Rabbi Yochanan really agree that they forgot Torah? Could Rabbi Yochanan really agree they forgot Torah?
Yes.
We have a question right now. Rabbi Yochanan on one hand said it's Yesod Nevi'im. On the other hand, it's Halacha Moshe Sinai. So we said, no. Of course it's Halacha Moshe Sinai, but they forgot it. And they needed the Nevi'im to come and bring it back. So the Rabbi Yochanan say that they forgot Torah. Look at this. In Golas Bavel, very good. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan. Now, I'm going to tell you how to write it out just because it's the easiest way to do it this way. Please follow this Rabbi side. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, I wrote on top, Rabbi Yochanan said, I wrote on top, to people from Eretz Yisrael. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, right on top of the words Rabbi Yochanan told, really Talmidim of Eretz Yisrael, or people from Eretz Yisrael. He made the following comment to them. There was a story, 1 second, write that in. Rabbi Yochanan told the people from Eretz Yisrael.
You're the only one that has a set seat of the ship.
We pushed everybody out.
Where's my car? Past 9 o'clock, you can't see it anymore.
Start locking the door.
V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan told the people in Eretz Yisrael, watch this, Rabbi Sai.
On the box.
You should see the fishy part today.
That's what I smell. Fishing today.
What's it capsized?
You ready, Chavra? V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, you ready? Rabbi Sai, watch this. Rabbi Sai, hold on, Chavra, hold on, we can't lose train of thought. Rabbi Sai will be zech the new Siyata D'Shmaya now. Because when you have a whole Chabura, it's more Siyata D'Shmaya.
It's still not all.
Yaakov Altman.
CB.
And CB.
2 hours. Our entire.
Rabbi Sai, Mo, get us a new building.
Everyone's getting called out. You better watch the video.
V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, you ready, Chavra?
Gotta buy a building.
V'amar Rabbi Yochanan. MDY, you know what you call it?
Oh, ask.
V'amar, Chavra, watch this. Rabbi Sai, well, hold on 1 second, hold on, I can't lose it. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan told the people from Eretz Yisrael. Dilachoin. Now right underneath it. You have more room underneath this bottom line, right underneath it. You have to write more than just 2 words. Dilachoin. You ready? You ready? Dilachoin. You ready, Chavra? Watch this. Dilachoin. You ready for this? Rabbi say you have to write this in small letters under the word Dilachoin. Write it under the word Dilachoin. I used to say you knew the Torah. Dilachoin means it used to be yours. I used to say you knew the Torah. He told the people from Eretz Yisrael, I used to say you knew the Torah. Dilachoin. He told the people in Eretz Yisrael, I used to say that you knew the Torah. Just to tell you why.
Chaim means you.
Yeah, why? Because you were an exile. If you never left Eretz Yisrael, you probably were able to have. You weren't disturbed, so you probably weren't. You don't. There were some Yidden who didn't leave, who didn't go to Gullus. So I always assumed, says Rabbi Yochanan, I always assumed that if you weren't uprooted, then you probably were able to hold on to the Torah better. Amri. Now I say. There was a story that happened that someone came up from Bavel, Rav Kahana came up from Bavel, and Rabbi Yochanan saw that he was able to answer all the shilas. He was blown away. He's like, what? He's like, so he commented on this story. After he saw Rav Kahana knew so much, even though he went to Bavel and he was exiled and he experienced so much turmoil, he said, I used to say the Torah used to belong to you in Eretz Yisrael. Amri, now I say it belongs to them in Bavel. It belongs to them in Bavel.
Wasn't Bavel the place everyone used to go right before you get married, after you get married, if you have a job, that whole spiel?
It belongs to who?
It belongs to you and to them in Bavel. Dilchain means to you, and Dilchain means it belongs to them in Bavel. So put a question mark here. A
So what,
question
you
mark.
didn't
Oh,
forget it?
so a question mark and right on the side. We see that Torah was not forgotten in Bavel.
The opposite. The opposite. They reinforced our Yisrael.
And Bavel, they retained it greater than Eretz Yisrael. So Torah was not forgotten in Eretz Yisrael.
My question is, how did everyone forget?
But-
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Ah, so
In Bavel,
in Bavel, I'm sorry, in Bavel. So how can you tell me? How can you resolve the problem of Rabbi Yochanan? Oh, you told me how can Rabbi, we have a problem. Is it that Rabbi Yochanan say it's a Yesod Nevi'im, which is only a Derabbanan level, or did Rabbi Yochanan say that it's a Deraisa? So we're saying no, it really wasn't Deraisa. Allah Sinai, they forgot it in Bavel. But we find Rabbi Yochanan commented elsewhere that I see that in Bavel the Torah remained much more. They retained.
One thing.
Oh, so no, it'd be strange for them to forget it. It seems they
There's no
had,
base of English anymore, so they weren't.
but there was no deficiency. There was no deficiency, Rabbi Isai. There was no deficiency from the people in Bavel. So Rabbi Isai says the Gemara, Loi Kasha. There's no question. Here the Gemara answers. You're right. So no question. Loi Kasha, no question. Kan. You ready for this? Kan leMikdash. Kan leMikdash. You ready for this? Here we go. I wrote on top. In Mikdash, Rabbi Yochanan says it's halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Kan b'Mikdash means in the Mikdash it was halacha l'Moshe Sinai. The Arava. So that's how in the Mikdash Rabbi Yochanan said. Really, Rabbi Yochanan made both statements right now. It wasn't at two time periods. On one hand, we have Rabbi Yochanan said it was halacha Moshe Sinai. On the other hand, he said it was a Yesod Nevi'im, which is only a Derabanan. So we're saying that it really was simultaneously. In the base of Mikdash, Rabbi Yochanan says it's halacha Moshe Sinai to take the Rava.
The Seder Rabbanan means Zechel Mikdash.
Oh no. But kan bigvulin means that in outside of the base of Mikdash, outside the base of Mikdash, it was
Even in the times of the
in time of the base of Mikdash. Outside the base of Mikdash, it was a Yesod Nevi'im.
Oh, so then why were they able to mess up Shabbos for it?
Bisman Shabbos of Kayim.
Yes.
So then why were they able to skip Shabbos for it?
Yes. Kan bigvulin means outside the base of Mikdash.
Like the Mandor says, never fly on Shabbos.
Yes,
During
and
the time
then
of
yes,
the Beit
during the time of the base of Mikdash. Exactly. Yeah. So everybody says. So now we have clarity. Oh, 1 second. Hold on. And on the 1 second. You ready? And then right on the side, make a small footnote by the word gvulin. On this, Rabbi Yeshua argues and says it's only a minhag. That's clear. On this, Rabbi Yeshua argues and says it's only a minhag because we start off with a
Rabbi
minhag.
Shua is not forced. Rabbi Shua is not forced to say that it's only by going. He could say even Mikdash.
He argues and says what?
Shua is
Minhag.
not forced to say that.
It's only minhag.
I hear what you're saying.
So he's being chalik and Allah Moshe Sinai.
No, Rabbi Yeshua holds.
saying
No,
it's not
it's to say that. To say what Rabbi Yaakov is saying, you have to say that. That's
He's being chalik and
Right.
Allah Moshe Sinai. What he always do.
Rabbi Shua is my
I don't know if Rabbi Yochanan was the one who came with the Allah Moshe Sinai. Shua Allah Moshe Sinai.
He had never